If you're over 70, there's one simple ability that quietly says a lot about how well your body is aging. It isn't about running miles or lifting heavy weights. It's about whether you can get down to the floor and come back up with control. When seniors can still do that, it often means their legs are strong, their balance is steady, and their joints still have usable range. Those are the same building blocks that help many people stay independent well into their 80s and 90s. And in a moment, I'll share one small tonight tip that can make this easier by morning, especially if stiffness is the main thing holding you back. If you want more like this, subscribe to Eldervia for calm, practical tips for older adults and caregivers. Quick safety note: these ideas can support healthy aging, but they don't replace medical exams, diagnosis, or treatment. And you should use support and supervision if you have fall risk. The ability I'm talking about is often called a floor to stand. Picture this. You lower yourself to the floor in a controlled way, then stand back up without rushing, ideally without needing to pull on furniture. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to do it without using your hands to benefit from practicing it. What matters is the message behind it. Your legs, hips, core, and balance are working together, and your brain still has good body awareness to coordinate the movement. Why does that matter for living longer? In plain English, people who keep strength and balance tend to fall less, move more, and recover faster when something does happen. There are studies linking better physical function, like balance and the ability to rise from the floor, with lower risk of early death over time. That doesn't mean passing a test guarantees you'll live to 100. It means this kind of function is a strong sign your body has reserve, and reserve helps you handle the bumps in the road that come with aging. Let me tell you about Ray and his daughter, Melissa. Ray was 78, a retired mechanic in Ohio, the kind of guy who'd rather fix something than talk about it. After a minor fall in the garage, nothing was broken, but Melissa noticed something. He avoided the floor like it was lava. He stopped kneeling to garden. He started sitting more. He told her, "I'm fine." But the truth was, he didn't trust his legs. Melissa didn't want a big fitness program. She wanted one practical target that would mean something in everyday life. So they picked one. Get more confident going down and up, safely, over the next few weeks. The first practical action is to test your starting point the safe way. If you want to try this, do it near a sturdy couch with a caregiver nearby if you're unsteady. Place a firm pillow or folded blanket on the floor. Start by lowering yourself only as far as you can control. If that's a kneel, that counts. If it's sitting on the couch and reaching hands toward the floor, that counts too. The goal is calm control, not bravery. If you do go all the way down, come up the same way, slow, steady, using the couch arm or a chair if you need it. Needing a hand does not mean you failed. It means you're being smart. The second action is to build the exact strength you need for getting up, without even going to the floor at first. The best transfer exercise is the sit to stand from a chair. Use a firm chair, not a soft recliner. Scoot forward, feet under your knees. Lean your chest slightly forward, and stand using your legs. Then sit down slowly, like you're trying not to make a sound. That slow lowering is where a lot of strength is built. If it's hard, raise the seat with a firm cushion or do it from a higher chair. If it's easy, pause for a second while standing tall. then sit slowly again. A caregiver can stand nearby with one hand ready at the elbow, not pulling, just steadying. The third action is balance, because balance is what makes the floor to stand feel safe. A simple daily practice is to stand at the kitchen counter, fingertips resting lightly, and shift your weight from one foot to the other. Then try a gentle heel raise, like you're looking over a fence, and lower slowly. Later, you can practice standing with one foot slightly in front of the other, like a short tightrope stance, still holding the counter if needed. This isn't flashy, but it trains your ankles, hips, and brain to work as a team. And that teamwork is what keeps small stumbles from turning into big falls. Keep watching, because there's one overlooked tip coming up that makes a surprising difference for many seniors. It's not an exercise at all, and it often helps the next morning feel looser and more steady. Now, let's talk about the how of actually practicing the floor part without scaring yourself. Start with a halfway version. From standing, hold the couch, step one knee back onto the pillow, then the other knee if comfortable, and come right back up. That's a kneel to stand, and it's a perfect bridge move. If the knees don't like it, you can use a thicker folded blanket, or practice the same pattern by lowering to a high ottoman instead of the floor. Over time, as your legs get stronger, you lower a little more. The body learns confidence through repetition, not through one big attempt. A lot of viewers ask, what if my joints are stiff? Stiffness is common, especially in hips and ankles, and it can make getting up feel impossible even when strength is decent. This is where the small tonight routine helps. Before bed, do a short warm and loosen sequence that takes about 5 minutes. Start with slow ankle circles while seated, both directions, like you're drawing a smooth circle with your toes. Then do gentle knee bends while holding the kitchen counter, only as far as comfortable, keeping the heels down. Then try a hip hinge, hands on the counter, push your hips back like you're closing a car door with your backside, then stand tall again. Finish by standing tall, taking 2 slow breaths, and letting your shoulders drop. Many people wake up feeling a little less rusty, and that can make your daytime practice safer and more confident. Budget matters too, because staying strong isn't just about workouts. Protein supports muscle, and seniors often don't get quite enough. You don't need expensive shakes. In U.S. grocery stores, budget-friendly options include eggs, canned tuna or salmon, peanut butter, beans, lentils, milk, and store-brand Greek yogurt. If chewing is tough, softer options like yogurt, cottage cheese, or scrambled eggs can help. If you're on a special diet or have kidney concerns, that's a good place to check with your clinician. But for many older adults, a little more protein spread through the day supports strength training results. A few small habits make this whole plan work better. Good lighting reduces trips and missteps, especially in hallways and bathrooms. So consider brighter bulbs or a simple nightlight. Wear supportive shoes indoors if you're slippery on socks. Drink water steadily through the day, because dehydration can worsen dizziness and muscle cramps. If you practice in the evening, dim screens a bit earlier and give yourself a calmer wind down, because better sleep supports balance and coordination the next day. And if you haven't had your vision and hearing checked in a while, put that on the list, because your balance system relies on both. Here are the red flags where you shouldn't practice through it, and you should seek urgent care or call 911. New chest pressure, severe shortness of breath, fainting, sudden one-sided weakness, face drooping, trouble speaking, sudden confusion, or the worst headache you've ever had are emergencies. Also, get urgent help after a fall with a head hit, new severe pain, inability to bear weight, or new numbness. And if dizziness is new and intense, especially with nausea or trouble walking, don't try to train balance that day. Get checked. Back to Ray. Melissa set him up with a firm chair, a pillow on the floor, and one simple rule: no rushing, no proving anything. For the first week, he didn't go to the floor at all. He just practiced quiet sit to stands and counterbalance work while she made coffee. The second week, he tried the kneel to stand with the couch. The change wasn't dramatic, but it was real. He stopped holding his breath when he moved. He started trusting that his legs would be there when he asked them to work. One afternoon, Melissa found him in the garden again, kneeling on a pad, then standing up slowly, using the fence with just 2 fingers. That's what functional strength looks like. Not gym strong, life strong. So here's what to remember. Being able to lower yourself and rise from the floor, even with some support, is a meaningful sign of strength, balance, mobility, and confidence. If it's hard today, it doesn't mean you're stuck. Build the chair stand. Build the counterbalance. Practice the halfway version. Use soft padding. Keep it calm. And try the bedtime loosen up routine. Because for many seniors, stiffness is the hidden obstacle that makes everything feel harder than it has to. What part feels hardest for you right now? Getting down, getting up, or feeling steady while you do it? Put that one answer in the comments. And if you have a family member caring for an older adult, share this with them so you can practice safely together. Subscribe to Eldervia for calm, practical tips for older adults and caregivers. This video is educational and not medical advice. For personal guidance, talk with your healthcare professional.